If your goals aren't simple and achievable, you're doing it wrong. The more that you begin to slowly show up as the person that you believe can achieve the New Year's resolutions, the more you become them. And the more that you give your brain the evidence to actually prove yourself wrong.
I don't even know where to start. That's the last place I can begin.
I'm really trying, no, not really. I'm trying hard to be like a real, you know, YouTuber, and I'm really focused on not necessarily having fun, but grabbing you in and giving you key list things so that you stay, you know, so I keep my watch time up so that I grow. But I also didn't post on YouTube for quite a while, I'm not even gonna lie to you. So it's like, at this point, do I care about what's gonna bring up my analytics? Because it's gonna flop anyway, right? So I have a karaoke microphone. Yeah. It's Francie Sarabaska. Yeah. Yeah. I can feel a real connection, a supernatural attraction. You know what? I forgot what video I'm even filming. So my experience of making New Year's resolutions has been fruitless, dry, and unsuccessful. So I felt like, how about this year we try a whole new strategy? Because I feel like there's certain things about New Year's resolutions that I feel like could be tackled better than just the general way people go about them. So I have like a few steps of the things that I'm going to be doing for 2022 to prep for 2022, but also to try and make my New Year's resolution stick this year. We're getting serious and I'm putting on the glasses, okay? So yes, the title may be potentially misleading, but it got you here. And by now you've been watching long enough that I got my watch time, so cry about it. But honestly, it's possible. I'm trying to help you. So the very first thing that I'm trying to change is starting early and starting small. I've been thinking about it recently in the sense of it actually doesn't matter when you start it. It's just the new year is a nice time to begin because everyone's kind of reflecting on the past year. I know that when you start anything, it's so hard in the beginning. And obviously that's something that we just kind of have to deal with. But I think that it's something that could be made a little bit easier and the burden made a bit lighter if we started really small and started really early. So like now it's December, who knows when I'm gonna edit this, but let's say it's around Christmas time. But theoretically, you would start a little bit earlier. I mean, who knows when you're even gonna find this video? You might not even find this video this year. You might find it another year, okay? In which case, start it at the beginning of December. Let's say I wanted to have my resolution, New Year's resolution, to wake up early. Let's say I wanted to wake up at 8 AM. So nowadays, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be waking up at like 12, okay? I'll be doing that. And yes, I do go to university that starts at 9 AM. But listen. Cause listen. There's things involved in there and there's reasons why. But I would obviously like to wake up at 8 AM. However, to get from 12 PM to 8 AM, that's a big gap. Which is why I think that a whole new strategy needs to be done. Instead of just being like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at friggin' 8 AM. It's not gonna work. I can tell you that it's not gonna work because I've done that all year. Like, it's just logic, right? If you're already kind of in a state where you don't necessarily have enough built discipline and you don't have that self-trust because you know what you're like, it can be really difficult to make the decision to like switch up. Instead of staying in bed and staying warm and choosing comfort, waking up and like starting your day, having a morning routine, I think that it's easier to do it in increments. So let's say, okay, well usually I wake up at 12 and I wake up at 12 all the time. You know what, I'm gonna start and I'm literally just gonna wake up at 11. Even just that tiny, small change will compound until you eventually reach the 8 AM. And if you start small like that, you're already building up your confidence in yourself again. Because I know my big issue is it's not even just a case of damn, you really didn't wake up at this time. It's like, wow, you didn't wake up at this time and you're never gonna wake up at this time because that's just how you are, right? But no, if you just start small, ease your way into it, it's like, I can do this. This isn't that bad. Plus, I think your body needs to adjust because it is a big change, changing when you wake up and when you go to sleep, because obviously that affects it's just your routine. Your brain's used to certain things. I think if you give yourself small, easily achievable goals, it's gonna give you the chance to get the ball rolling, so that then when January comes and you're like, okay, your girl's working on some real New Year's resolutions, it's a lot easier because you already started that momentum. You just have to keep it going. Okay, so going on with this is, in order to make certain changes, I've definitely read it in a book somewhere, it's definitely going to be Atomic Habits. But I feel like if you've ever watched a self-help video, you know that all the quotes from James Clear, like, I don't need to be quoting you. But basically, in order to change, at the end of the day, you kind of do need to change yourself and how you view yourself. It was like a statistic from the book Atomic Habits, and it was talking about how, in terms of people who quit smoking, the people that say I'm not a smoker when they're trying to quit versus the people say I'm trying to quit are way more likely to follow through with that goal, because there's been an identity shift. They've said, I'm not a smoker anymore, so like, I'm not about that. And I feel like it's kind of fun to think about, and it's like, maybe just kind of ironically do it. But the one thing that is consistent in this existence is change. So I feel like instead of thinking of yourself as this fixed being that can't change, embrace the fact that you can change. If you think about how you want to be and what kind of person you would need to be to follow through on your New Year's resolutions, it's not going to be that girl that is always bringing herself down. It's not going to be that girl that skips a lecture because her bed's actually warm. It's going to be the person that celebrates the small wins. It's going to be the person that gets up and is like, actually, I'm going to think about what future me will be proud of me for. Basically, the more that you begin to slowly show up as the person that you believe can achieve the New Year's resolutions, the more you become them, and the more that you give your brain the evidence to actually prove yourself wrong. Because if you think about it, sometimes you fall into negative patterns, and if you have a negative belief about yourself, you're just feeding into it, and your brain's like, well, no, that's the truth. I've literally gathered all the evidence and that's it. So you need to gather evidence for the opposite side of that, which is where this thing comes in of showing up as your best self as much as you can try. And I mean this in like small, tiny increments. In order to show up as your higher self, I think you do need to visualize what it is that she looks like, or they look like, or he looks like. Because obviously it's all well and good for me to be like, yeah, well, just like be your higher self and like just show up how she, well, how would she? I think that this is a great place to sit and kind of just be in the present moment and think, especially now towards the end of the year, about who it is that you genuinely want yourself to be, who you are ideally. And I'm not talking about things that are outside of your control. Like, yeah, obviously, like, I'm dating Andrew Garfield. I'm talking about things you can work on, like being disciplined and kind and understanding and a good communicator and things like that. These are things that you can visualize. And there was a quote, I don't remember who it was, but it was like something about, if you can see it, you can have it. And I feel like if you can visualize just who your higher self is, you're already like so far onto the journey of becoming her, because you know what she looks like, you know what she acts like. So I think, I mean, it depends on how you'd want to do this, but you could definitely meditate on it. But I also would like, you know, journaling, or even honestly make a Pinterest board, make a vision board, do what you have to do. It honestly depends on whatever way you like to visualize things. Just ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Physically visualize it, close your eyes and think about it. You could do this with the aid of a Spotify playlist. For example, I have a playlist literally called New Girl, not the show, but like New Girl meaning me up here. And if I can just sit and kind of breathe it in, I can visualize things really easily with music. Or you could make a vision board, like go on Pinterest, find pictures that inspire you or people that inspire you and quotes and things, and try to curate it in a way that makes sense to you, that shows you kind of what your higher self would look like. And maybe make like a lock screen or home screen out of it and be able to look at it and just have that as a point of reference to think about what it is that you want yourself to be like. Throughout making these new goals and starting New Year's resolutions, there will be a lot of resistance because it's something completely different. your brain's not used to that. Like I said, that's not part of your current identity, so there's going to be a lot of resistance. Especially sometimes good things end up with the resistance in your brain because for whatever reason you're trying to self-sabotage. I think whenever this comes up, it's really important to journal about it, and just really think about where it's coming from, because a lot of the times you can just kind of live in a fashion that's unaware, and you might just think, oh, this is just how I am and I just can't do it, blah 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 blah, but you really do have the ability to do it. Don't beat yourself up when things go wrong. Instead, analyze and think, how can I do it a bit better next time? Since we're talking about visualizing, a good journaling prompt could literally be, what would my ideal self look like by the end of 2022? And think about, had things gone well, and then these are things that you can control, relying on your power, not relying on other things working out, basically. So like for me, I'm not gonna say at the end of 2022 I have 1,000 subscribers, because that's not in my control. At the end of 2022 I made 10 videos that I'm super proud of. Do you see what I mean? And you have that there, and you have this set kind of idea of what you want the end of 2022 to look like, and it's something to look forward to. Lastly, this is the last thing I have to say, when you're in the process of doing this, make sure to check in often, but the key thing is to check in without judgment, because a lot of the times the moment we can put judgment on ourselves is immediately when things slow, and you kind of make the process even harder to get through if you're consistently judging yourself every single mistake you make, or for not doing things as easily as you thought you could do them. At the end of the day, changing yourself to be a better person requires a lot of strength, and not everyone has that. I would know, because I've been like this for years anyway, but I'm trying. I think that's genuinely the only thing that we can focus on, is trying. And don't beat yourself up about the past, because at the end of the day, the past, that's already been, it's done its thing. Like, I could sit here and think about all the different times when I've thought about the current things that are comfortable, instead of thinking about how it's going to help me in the future. And I could think about just how many times I wanted to literally come out of my own body and knock myself out, because I put myself in a bad situation, because I didn't just take an option that was a little bit less easy. But if I dwell on that, I'm literally never going to move forward, because I'm not even here right now. I'm in the past. Being compassionate to yourself, I think, is the strongest part of helping you forward on your journey. It's like so helpful when it comes to not giving up, because it just means all isn't lost. This isn't who you are. It's literally just a hiccup. And you're going to get up and you're going to carry on with your journey, because at the end of the day, you have compassion for yourself. You know what? You can do what you need to do. You just didn't this time. But that's not it. That's not over. That doesn't mean that's who you are. That doesn't mean you're forever going to be like that. And I must say, if your goals aren't simple and achievable, you're doing it wrong. Like, if your goal is too big and lofty, I don't think there's any goal that is too big. But if your goal is super lofty, you need to think about the immediate steps that you can take. And be able to split it into small things so that you can actually get there. Because some goals, if there's not a measurable goal, like, I can't just sit here and be like I said, I can't say, okay, by the end of 2022, I'm gonna have 1,000 subscribers. I don't know, girl, I don't know. The only thing I can aim to do is put out videos that I'm proud of and do them consistently, right? And then if I break that even more down, I can start brainstorming video ideas. I can start planning when I would be making my videos, when I'd be editing my videos. But honestly, I think that you won't change until you want to change. And I don't even know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm on that path yet, but if you clicked on this video, I would assume that you want to. Maybe I'll make a video at the end of 2022 to see where I am. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe. And hopefully I'll be making more regular videos in the new year, because again, New Year's resolutions, we can do that. Let me know if this was helpful at all, and also say anything you want to say in the comments. Honestly, I do miss posting on YouTube and just chatting. Bye. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I actually can't explain it. It's a certain level of vanity that you just have to admit to at some points. And
if I die, don't cry. Just look up to the sky and say
an NCT thirst trap. Come on, come on, come on. You know what it is? It's like, it's not that I'm vain or that I have super high self-esteem.
I feel you to calm down still and not then still.
This is how you get into the vibe of my channel. You just... I don't even know the dance properly, but... Yeah! Yeah! Do you see what I mean where it doesn't work all the time? Yeah!
Your Bluetooth device is connected.
This is the thing I'm remembering, that I was never able to just get into a video. Like, it's been almost 10 minutes already and I have a key microphone out. I love you, baby. I believe I can fly.